Well, this is totally not Danzig, and you're listening to the Shred Shack.
Greetings, folks. I'm Dan Mack.
And this is Chris Mack.
And you're listening to episode 106 of the Shred Shack Podcast, your bi-weekly source of news and uninformed yet heavily biased opinions pertaining to all things heavy metal. We can actually say we're bi-weekly now.
Yeah. We've been pretty goddamn steady. We're making a point of doing that.
Yeah. You can listen to us on iTunes, Mixcloud, Google Play, as well as YouTube at youtube.com/AdamantTemplum and youtube.com/The Shred Shack. Let's talk about old business.
Old business is old business, and new business is new business.
I don't have the script in front of me, so I don't even know if we have old business.
We do not have old business.
Okay, so new business.
And this is new business, and we do not discuss new business until next quarter.
It's next quarter!
Yay!
Literally, it's next quarter.
Son of a bitch, it is.
So, let's talk about usually when we start talking about new business, we talk about new album releases. I did not listen to anything new this week. What about you?
Devin Townsend. His new album, Empath. And we've talked about Devin Townsend a lot between myself and Pat. And
hold on, wait, I have a clip.
Oh no! All of this chism!
pretty much. The thing about Devin Townsend is that I think we reached a point with his last record, Transcendence, where it was, another Devin Townsend project record. But this one, he disbanded the Devin Townsend project. He went on his own, so to speak. I mean, considering that everything's named after him. But we reached a point, yeah.
Devin Townsend presents the Devin Townsend Project.
Yeah,
Devin Townsend.
Yeah, kind of like Michael Schenkerfest there. But we got to a point with him where it was like, you knew what you were getting. It's always good, and for us to be able to say something more about it, he'd either have to do something completely awful or something completely amazing. And I think he did the completely amazing on this record. It has just about everything, every kind of style that Devin Townsend has ever played in one single record. It's 15 tracks, but the last 5 tracks are actually considered one complete song, 25 minutes long or whatever. And it really just covers the entire spectrum of heavy metal, rock and roll. There's some dance music in there. There's some full-on brutality, choral work. I mean, just every single thing that you can possibly think of that Devin Townsend has had a hand in one single outing. And it's all remarkable.
Okay.
While I was listening to it, the first thing that came to mind was that Devin Townsend is very much a modern day
Frank
Zappa. And I'm not the only one who thought this, because I read an article or a review later on that night and said it's pretty much the exact same thing. So when you think about Frank Zappa, you think, complex arrangements, you think of his composure, orchestral wise and everything like that, because he did compose some orchestra pieces. And Devin Townsend is the main composer of every one of these songs, and they are so complex and so dense, and it's just really, really incredible stuff.
Cool. I have not heard it, so.
Oh, it's great. So. I also have, that came in the mail the other day, 2 new releases. I just only listened to one so far, though. The new one from Elvady, which I haven't listened to yet, and the new one from Periphery, Hail Stan, which I love. Best thing about this record, first track, 17 minutes long.
Of course.
I mean, it's just so, yeah.
Of course.
It's been one hell of a year for prog metal, let me tell you. Periphery again is one of those bands where you kind of know what you're gonna get, but sometimes they just find a way to surprise you. And this one is just like that. There's just so many layers and so much depth to the creativeness that they find in a genre that, you know, has been joked of lacking creativity, which is gent. You know, because everyone just kind of associates that with just like heavy open note guitar riffs and whatnot, but these guys really throw in a shit ton of flair to it, and everything about this record is fantastic. So I highly recommend people get into some prog and get in some Devin Townsend, Empath, and Periphery. Hail Stan.
I guess next time we'll hear about the other one.
Hopefully, yes. I mean, like I said, I just got, like, they came in on Friday, but I didn't get them until yesterday. So I was only able to listen to one.
Gotcha. So what else have we been listening to this week?
All right. So where is my Instagram account? Yay. Not that it didn't really vary much. Let's see.
Yeah, you had your summer of 2000.
Yeah. So first, kind of went some throwback, Flashback Friday. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last podcast, but I'm going to just start with that. Killswitch Engage, Alive or Just Breathing, and of course some Black Label Society, Stronger Than Death.
No, you didn't mention those last time.
Oh, I did not? Okay, well, Stronger Than Death by Black Label Society is one of my favorite records of all time. And Killswitch Engage, Alive or Just Breathing is just a fucking classic. Then I did go through my week of the Summer of 2000 playlist. Went a little nostalgic. So that started off with Mudvayne LD50, one of my all-time favorite records again. Then I got into some Disturbed, The Sickness, and...
Yeah, I listened to that album, or part of that album, recently. It has not held up too well, in my opinion. They've done far better since.
I was gonna say, I think they've done better.
Yeah,
since then.
They've done far better since then, but it is comparatively, it's definitely not held up very well.
But it's funny, just the way when you listen to it now, it's just like, oh man, I just remember how awesome these songs were back then. I enjoyed it.
I mean, if you listen to the radio, they're still awesome to
Yeah.
some people.
Yeah. But in the same day, I also listened to Incubus Make Yourself, which is fun. Then I went back on a Slipknot kick, and it was Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat, which is their first album before Corey Taylor joined the band, and then of course the self-titled quote-unquote debut album from Slipknot. And I closed out that Summer of 2000 playlist with Static X, Wisconsin Death Trip, and the self-titled Godsmack record.
Yeah, when you were doing the whole Summer 2000 thing, I was waiting for the Static X to come up. I was surprised it didn't come up sooner.
Well, I was just going through what I can get.
Yeah.
Like most of the stuff that I was listening to, I had to actually, because when I listen to music in your garage when I'm working out, it's either on my Amazon playlist, so stuff that I bought previously, or I have to go on YouTube and get it.
Gotcha.
So
it's a matter of what's up there.
It's a matter of what's available.
Gotcha.
You know. So when I got to like Slipknot, I had those two records on my iPod, and I was at the gym for those.
Gotcha.
When I was, the other ones I actually had to go on YouTube and listen to.
I was gonna say there is an iHome out there, that you can just plug in.
Son of a bitch, I think there is.
Yeah, you can just use that. It should work.
Is it one of the ones you can do with the base?
You just dock it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It came from Robin.
Oh.
It should work. So.
Well then, next time I will have to look into that because
Yeah.
I have one iPod where the headphone jack is jacked up, so you can't really hear out of one ear. So that's the one that's been in my car for months, actually years at this point, and that has a lot of my later day stuff. Like I have 3 iPods. All right, I have my old quote unquote classic one, which is the one I had when I had my my Mac computer, and that's the one it was set up to. So if I try to plug it into my other computer, it would reset everything. And there's a lot of stuff on that iPod that I do not have backups of.
So you can't touch it.
So I can't touch it. So in my infinite wisdom, I went out and bought another iPod, which has more of the latter day stuff, or a lot of stuff I stole from you, from your hard drive that time.
Yep.
And then pretty much everything I've gotten since then. That's what's on that iPod. And that's the one that's jacked up, unfortunately. Then I have my iPod Mini, the touchscreen one, which only has a very limited amount of space. And that's the one I kind of keep a rotation of. Like when I get new releases, old stuff comes off, new stuff goes on, and then I have a couple go-tos.
Gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha.
But then the week after that, and pretty much following the release of Devin Townsend's Empath, I went on a huge Devin Townsend kick, of course. And this was just the Devin Townsend rabbit hole, I called it. So starting off with his previous record, Transcendence. And then I listened to some Dark Matters, which is the Ziltoid Part 2. The second disc of that particular record. This is the actual Ziltoid part of the record. And then I followed that up by trying to get out of the rabbit hole with some supergroups, which is one of them was Call Me No One, which was the group formed by Clint Lowry and Rose Morgan from Seven Dust.
Yeah.
And Killer Be Killed, which featured a shit ton of people, most notably Max Cavalera, Greg, I don't remember his last name, from Dillinger Escape Plan, and I think it was Troy from Mastodon. And they all sing on it, which is fantastic. The 3 different voices on it really, really are awesome, and some of the songs are fantastic. Like if these guys released a second record, I'd be super stoked. But of course, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Mr. Al Pacino did it best, and I closed out the week with Devin Townsend Project Epic Cloud. On top of all that, of course, trying to wrap up the 10-word reviews for Sabbath. I would just listen to whatever I needed for that.
I heard Born Again the other day.
Yep. Yep, I forgot what I wrote about that, but you will be able to hear that when I record my parts on Friday, which we're doing.
Thanks for letting me know.
I mentioned it last week to you, all right, that I will be ready to do the parts for the S5 and the 10-word reviews on Friday.
We're doing it on Friday, the end.
It is now recorded. It is now permanent and confirmed. Anyway,
nothing is confirmed on this Red Show.
That is also very true. We're going to come up to that next, actually, because something that we quote-unquote confirmed that we were going to do, but we kind of just couldn't because of our time. I listened to the Mark Morton record that we were supposed to do a reaction video to.
Yeah.
Quite good. Like a lot of really good contributions from all the singers he's got.
Musically, what is it like?
It's a little bit of everything, to tell you the truth. I don't want to use the word hodgepodge because that always makes it sound bad, but that's really what it is. It's a hodgepodge of musical styles, with the Lamb of God style being very prevalent because obviously he's one of the songwriters for Lamb of God.
Yeah.
But then there's also some of his other influences. There's a little bit of like dirty country in there, just some plain rock and roll because he's got Miles Kennedy singing for him. That's one of the better songs on the album. One of the heaviest tracks is the one with Chester Bennington. It's the opening track, and that's really, really good because it's like Chester Bennington when he was singing on like the first Linkin Park record. Just a really good mix of stuff. The only unfortunate thing about these kind of records is the lack of consistency. Mm-hmm. Like with Tony Iommi's solo record, you knew it was a Tony Iommi record because it sounded like Tony Iommi playing guitar throughout the entire record with a different singer on the first one. And the second one I think he just did with
Glenn Hughes.
This one, the styles change here and there. You kind of question who's playing it sometimes. Even the vocal styles change significantly. So it's just a mix of stuff. With I just wish there was a little bit more consistency in it.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it was still a really good release. And again, the Miles Kennedy track, the Chester Bennington track, really good. Chuck Billy's track is really good. Just because, anytime that a wild Chuck Billy appears, it's going to be fun.
Of course.
Except in our Pokemon video, but that's
Yeah.
okay. And I was also just kind of brushing up on the February top 3 if I ever get a chance to actually write my parts for that. I was just catching up on those.
Which you've decided on, right?
Yeah, I pretty much decided on those, and I gotta look at March and see where
Okay.
March stands.
Yeah, I gotta finish March too.
I have a feeling that I got an early choice for April coming in with the Periphery record. I mean, I think that's pretty much going to be a given at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lock for you. Usually when it comes down to looking at lists, like like the new release lists, I'm like, I am probably not gonna listen to that because I know that somebody else is gonna call it. So I kind of put it on the back burner as far as listening to it. Like the new Children of Bodom, I have a feeling that someone else is gonna call it. I don't know who. But,
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'll listen to it when I listen to it. So
Yeah, and I have a feeling that I think this one in March might be one of the ones that we share a number one, at least between me and Pat.
Gotcha. Okay. So after our discussion last time, when we were super surprised about Tesla being at number 12 or something
Yeah,
like
like really high up in the top 200.
I listened to one of their older albums, Psychotic Supper. It's good 80s rock, like the 80s cock rock. Like, I didn't find anything necessarily all that special about it, and I can only imagine what they sound like now comparatively, considering that that style is now kind of passé or done as a joke. Steel Panther, but it was good for what it was, so I can't complain. Randomly just went to the end of my iPod and went to listen to Rob Zombie, Electric Warlock, Acid Witch, Satanic Orgy, Celebration Dispenser, which was the last album that he did. Wasn't that big of a fan of it. Not crazy about it. Kind of short, kind of throwaway. But I went back and listened to the one before that, the Venomous Rat Regeneration Vendor, which I actually love. So,
Rob Zombie's very hit or miss with his records.
Yeah.
I really, really liked Educated Horses. I thought that was a really great record. Mm-hmm. And then Hillbilly Deluxe 2 wasn't that great.
Yeah, he kind of just jumps a little bit.
Yeah, he kind of phoned that one in a little bit. But then, like you said, Venomous Rat Regeneration Vendor was good. And sometimes I don't want to listen to something when I can't even say the name of the record.
Yeah.
I
would just call it Electric Warlock.
I just call it the one with the long title.
Yeah. Well,
which is almost just as many words.
He has a couple that have some pretty long titles. Cause technically, a lot of his albums have long titles. Like his first album is Hellbilly Deluxe, 13 Tales of
yada 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 yada.
Blah blah blah. I think the shortest one he has is Educated Horses. So, I was listening to a couple Sabbath records to get my thoughts ready for 10 Words reviews. Also, just to kind of recap my own love of certain albums. So, as far as to get more of an earful of them, I listened to Technical Ecstasy, Never Say Die, Eternal Idol, Seventh Star, and Born Again. And listening to them just because I love them, I listened to Sabotage, and I listened to Headless Cross. Actually, also included in the first set, Volume 4. Volume 4 was in there too.
Volume 4 is my favorite Sabbath record.
Which is funny because it's one of my least favorite.
I love that record.
I can't get into it. I mean, like it's basically I'm giving away my 10-word review, but like I just can't get into that one for some reason.
I just love it. I think one of my favorite songs Sabbath has ever done is Supernaut. I love that song.
I can't. I don't know what it is about it. Like it's a good record for sure, but I just can't get into it like the way I get into Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, or Sabotage. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely better than
Never Say Die.
Never Say Die or Technical Ecstasy, but yeah. Listen to some Crash Test Dummies because I love them, and I bought the last record I needed from their collection. Went on a random Symphony X kick. Listened to Paradise Lost, Iconoclast, and
oh my God, Iconoclast! Oh my God,
Twilight and Olympus. Which Twilight and Olympus is severely underrated, I'd say, because it was followed by 5, the Mythology Suite, and a lot of people consider that to be among their better albums. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think Twilight and Olympus is fucking amazing. And then I went and listened to my iPod on shuffle, which I'll get into during our discussion, because it actually kind of plays into it a little bit.
Okay, then.
Okay. That's pretty much been it. Thankfully, we have no obituaries this week.
Woo! Everything is awesome.
I would play that clip, but I don't have the clips up right now.
Well, then again, we can't really say that because, we might have missed something. But the two of us, have no deaths to report.
Yes. So
thank God. Over here, everything is awesome.
Yeah, on this side of it, everything's awesome.
And I did not go out of my way to avoid it.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen.
Thankfully.
Yes.
So.
For once.
So let's go on to general news.
General news. Machine Head has begun holding auditions to find replacements for drummer Dave McClain and guitarist Phil Demmel, who left the band last fall. During an Instagram live stream, frontman Rob Flynn revealed that the sessions are taking place at Sharkbite Studios in Oakland, California, with engineer Zach Oren, who worked on the group's latest album, 2018's Catharsis. Flynn stated about the musicians taking part in the auditions, "You might know some of these guys, while some of them you may not." Oh wait, you might not know some of these guys, while some of them you may. So it's interesting to see where he's going to go with that.
Cats, can you not fight during the podcast?
Yeah, for real.
No fighting in the war room.
All right. Def Leppard was finally inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on Friday night, March 29th, 14 years after they were first became eligible. The 34th annual ceremony took place at Brooklyn, New York's Barclays Center, and saw Def Leppard inducted by Queen's Brian May.
Really?
Yep.
Funny because I think the Barclays Center also hosted it definitely hosted the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes, they did.
Saturday.
Yes, they did.
I'm not sure if it was where anything else happened as far as the WrestleMania weekend tends to take up a lot of places in New York.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where they held WrestleMania.
WrestleMania was at the MetLife Stadium.
MetLife.
Yes. A buddy of mine from work, he's very involved in the indie scene. Specifically, he was working with Black Label Productions or Black Label Wrestling this weekend. And he also has his own promotion. Mm-hmm. So he sponsors matches, and the match he sponsored, I think, this past weekend as part of WrestleMania weekend in New Jersey, was a 12-woman tag match.
Nice.
Because he's very into the women's side of wrestling. And I actually have a password and stuff like that. He sent me a link so we can watch a stream of it.
Nice.
So I want to try and catch that this week before he comes back from vacation, so I can say, yeah, buddy, I did see that. So one of these days I got to sit down at the computer when I actually have a little bit of time.
Unrelated to that, did you hear about what happened at the Hall of Fame?
With Bret Hart?
Bret Hart?
Yeah.
Did you see what happened to the dude who...
Yeah, that guy got duffed in the face.
He got fucked up.
He got cold cocked on the way out, but in general, the guy got fucked up.
Yeah, no.
Some of the biggest motherfuckers in the WWE beat that ass.
Yeah, I saw Tommy Dreamer apparently took a video of it from where he was sitting, or he at least got he retweeted somebody else's video of it happening, and there were like 20 guys on this dude.
Oh yeah. Like you see it almost immediately as soon as he grabbed him.
And it wasn't security; it was the wrestlers.
No, it was wrestlers. The security kind of took their time getting there, like watching the video. They were just like, nah, whatever. These guys got it, and they're like. I think it was the Big Show had hands on this guy. Then all of a sudden, Braun Strowman shows up, and this guy gets his hands.
The New Day was in there.
The New Day was more like Kofi and the other guy.
Big E.
No. Big E was on top of this dude. Big E was fucking this guy up. No, it was Kofi and the other guy. They were kind of, making sure that Natalya and Bret Hart were okay.
Yeah.
Because Natalya was up there with him because it was when they were inducting the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
But everybody else, even Shane McMahon was beating the piss out of this guy. Like it was, like not even 2 seconds. This guy had hands on Bret Hart for 2 seconds, and he got his ass whipped.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I saw a mugshot of the guy. He got fucked up.
I don't doubt it, because that one punch by Dash at the end was vicious.
Yeah.
And it came out of nowhere. Like, yeah, he got what he deserved. Let's just say that.
Yeah, seriously. It was something to watch.
All right,
sorry. Let's go on.
Yeah. All right. Well, at the moment, we didn't have anything about Metallica breaking shit, but Iron Maiden did.
Right on.
Following Iron Maiden's record-breaking sellout of Santiago's 63,000 capacity Estadio Nacional, a feat unparalleled by any other artist so many months in advance, the band has now confirmed a second night in Chile, its first ever show at the Movistar Arena on Monday, October 14th, making them the first Anglo artist to play both venues within the same visit. Iron Maiden just owning it. Promoter Phil Rodriguez, founder and CEO of Move Concerts, comments, with every ticket snapped up for the Estadio Nacional show on October 15th and literally thousands of fans still clamoring to see Maiden in Chile, I asked the band if they considered doing one final date, and they kindly agreed. The situation is unprecedented for us. It's an amazing achievement anyway to sell out the stadium, which incidentally Maiden has now done for the fourth successive time, but quite another sellout almost 7 months in advance of the show, and to witness the astonishing demand we've had from fans for this tour.
It's Iron Maiden. I mean, we still have to buy our Iron Maiden tickets.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do that.
We've been talking about that pretty much ever since I set up that vacation around the show. I was like, man, I really want to go to this show, but I don't think I can make it because of work. Oh, I have a week's vacation.
What day of the week is it?
It's a Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
It blows.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say because we're gonna get home at like 1 a.m. I'm gonna have to like get ready for work.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm off. I'm just gonna go to sleep, or probably not because my sleep schedule is fucked. I stay up until 5 o'clock in the morning on days that I don't need to.
All I'm hoping is that like one person who I work with was also at that show, so they can feel my pain.
Or they'll call in sick like I did that one time, and you called me a pussy. And then Chris Norris called me up and said, your brother called you a pussy, get to work. And I said, fuck that guy.
Pussy.
So, yo, fuck that guy.
Oh, okay. Next thing.
Former Manowar guitarist David Schenkel is scheduled to undergo surgery next week after doctors found a tumor in his head during a recent brain scan.
And we were doing good with the obituaries thing, and now you pull out cancer.
Hey, I didn't say everything was awesome about cancer. I said no one died. Okay.
Just killing me.
Drummer Gil Sharon has announced his departure from Marilyn Manson. the Los Angeles native, joined Manz's band in 2013 and was featured on the Shock Rockers' latest 2 records, The Pale Emperor and Heaven Upside Down, which was the one that was supposed to be called Say 10. He has also performed with a number of other notable acts, including one of Maynard James Keenan's projects, Puscifer, with whom he recorded the V is for Vagina record.
Wow. What a title.
Manowar has recruited Anders Johansson as the band's new drummer. The Swedish musician made his live debut with Manowar on March 25th in the Czech Republic. He can be heard on Manowar's new EP, The Final Battle 1, which was made available on Friday, March 29th, an exclusive pre-sale at the merchandise booth of the band's The Final Battle World Tour 2019. The initial installment in a trilogy of EPs will be released to retail and online stores on May 30th and digitally on Amazon and Google Play.
Instead of just making one complete album.
Yeah, they decided to do a 3-part EP series, which I hope they finish, unlike Down, who was supposed to do a 4-part EP series. We got 2.
It's just, I find it funny that all this stuff is happening with Manowar, someone's leaving and all this kind of stuff. It's like they're at their end. Like they're totally doing their final tour right now.
Yeah.
And all this business is happening. The cat's going at it.
Yeah, they are having at it.
All right, let's go on.
Ooh. Y'all having way too much fun over there.
Yeah, they.
All right. Apparently, Stained is still a thing, and have shared. Yeah, and they shared a short video on their social media sites teasing what appears to be some sort of announcement. The 17-second clip features the band's logo accompanied by video static and the caption, "Stay tuned." Some fans have speculated that Stained will announce its return to the live stage in celebration of the 20th anniversary of the band's Dysfunction album, which was released on April 13th, 1999.
I just find it very funny. This is happening. Like Aaron Lewis wants to play music that goes over people now. If you've seen the news bits about him
like just
cursing out fans and stuff like that, basically pulling an Elias and shut the fuck up or I'm done and all this kind of stuff. It's like, dude, seriously, shut the fuck up. Just play the goddamn song and go home. But now you want to play music that it goes over the sound of the fans.
Yeah.
You brat. Punk ass brat.
But also remember, 20 years since that album came out. Who's feeling old?
You are.
I am. Old as shit at this point. Alright. Slipknot's All Out Life has been picked as the new theme for WWE's NXT weekly show. As first revealed the other day by WWE COO Triple H on Twitter, the track will be heard every Wednesday at 8 Eastern Time, 7 Central on the award-winning WWE Network.
Yeah. Actually, I heard about that because Lindsay watched the commercial.
Which is super cool.
Yep.
Triple H has always been a very strong proponent of metal, especially when it comes to NXT.
The songs that they've had, originally I think like when NXT became more so what it is now, because originally it was like a reality show. But I think when it became more so what it is now, its first song was Coheed and Cambria.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But I know like they've had themes by like Code Orange before and stuff like that. Like Triple H really does have a. I mean, he is the runner of the NXT, and he does have a very strong hand in pretty much everything that they do. And he's just known as one of the biggest metalheads in the WWE, considering that Motorhead did his theme songs for years.
Yeah.
He was a big friend and with Lemmy. A lot of his style came from Lemmy. Especially when he had the mutton chops for a while there.
Yeah.
Quick
thing unrelated. If you get a chance, watch the induction of DX.
I watched clips of that, and some of it's really funny.
Yeah.
Like, I really love how they play up, how Triple H has a job now.
He has a job now.
Quote, unquote. Yeah. He will buy that piss end company just to fire you again. And the fact is that the truth behind that statement is just ridiculous.
You put chief executive officer in front of something, and it's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently, we've talked about Mushroom Head a lot on this podcast, especially with their revolving doors of singers and members. But they have signed a worldwide deal with Napalm Records.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
I think they're coming around here soon.
I think so too. And I keep seeing the big billboard for Godsmack coming around to the Freeman Coliseum here.
Yeah.
Which is a perfect venue for them.
I haven't been to that one yet.
The Freeman Coliseum it's right next to AT&T Center. And I saw a tour there. I forgot what the name of the tour was, but it doesn't matter. But the tour featured Killswitch Engage and Five Finger Death Punch, and the sound was just perfect.
Right on.
Perfect. So Godsmack's sound for that smaller but still a pretty big venue is very, very fitting.
I know Priest played there a few months ago.
Yeah. I think people go there like when Iron Maiden plays just to watch him on a screen or something. I don't know. Just to fill the parking lot just that much more.
Yeah, of course.
All right. After nearly 2 decades since its 2001 release, Motley Crue's autobiography, The Dirt, Confessions of the World's Most Notorious Rock Band, written by Neil Strauss and published by HarperCollins, returns as a New York Times bestseller for the week ending April 14th. It landed at number 6 on nonfiction print paperback and number 8 on nonfiction combined print and ebook sales. That has to do, of course, with the release of The Dirt movie on Netflix.
Which I've not watched yet. I eventually plan to watch it, but I think all the things that I've seen is basically related to whether the accuracy of the film.
Yeah.
I'm like, these things are usually kind of skewed.
Well, then again, it's also like, if they're basing it off the book, I mean, how good are these guys' memories? I mean, really. I mean, the whole thing might be an exaggeration. I mean, maybe some of these events actually did happen, but to a lesser degree.
Yeah.
But then again, how accurate are these things? The only thing that might be truly accurate is if they have, like, the hospital records of, Nikki Sixx dying and coming back to life.
Twice.
Yeah. So... Oh, yeah, and the whole thing about Vince Neil, like, killing a guy.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. That might be a little accurate.
Yeah, well, let's see what the movie shows.
All right. Next up, Ozzy Osbourne has announced a postponement of all of his 2019 tour dates, inclusive of shows in North America and Europe, as he recovers from an injury sustained while dealing with his recent bout of pneumonia.
Just stop.
He fell at his Los Angeles home, aggravating years-old injuries from his 2003 ATV accident that required surgery last month. Ozzy Osbourne will remain under doctor's care in Los Angeles as he recovers.
Dude,
he's done.
Dude, just
gotta stop.
Yeah, like...
At this point, if he goes back on the road, it's not up to him. It's Sharon, and she might be trying to kill him to get life insurance. Like, at this point, that's what it's got to be.
I'm thinking. Do you remember that episode of The Simpsons when Mr. Burns goes to the doctor? It's like, you have everything. You have every disease known to man.
Yeah. It's he really just needs to stop if he wants to prolong his life anymore.
So what you're saying is, I'm indestructible. Indestructible.
He just needs to stop. Ugh. Okay. From Ozzy to Fozzy here. They have inked a new record deal with Sony Music.
Nice.
The group's last 3 albums, 2012's Sin and Bones, 2014's Do You Want to Start a War, and 2017's Judas, were released through Century Media. So that's a pretty big step.
Didn't Sony buy Century Media or something?
I don't know. We might have talked about that.
Or was that Nuclear Blast that got like bought up by a big company?
Might have been Nuclear.
I don't remember. Either way, that's still cool. Still cool for Chris Jericho and the rest of Fozzy. So.
All right. According to the New Zealand Herald, Jacob Lowenstein, the 28-year-old drummer for the New Zealand black metal band Igni, I-G-N-I?
I'd say Igni.
I say Igni. He has been charged with setting 2 Mormon churches ablaze. Lowenstein appeared from custody via audio-visual link at Christchurch District Court today, whenever I copied and pasted this one, on 2 charges of arson and 1 of unlawfully taking a vehicle. The arson charges are in relation to fires at Mormon church buildings in Christchurch and Greymouth, which occurred 2 days apart in March. Someone who watched Lords of Chaos and thought, that was a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, you know it needs to come back, church burnings.
Yeah.
Yeah, idiot.
And like Christchurch actually didn't suffer enough with that shooting.
Yeah.
Not long ago.
Yeah, idiot.
What the fuck? All right. Well, In Flames guitarist Nicholas Engelin will sit out the band's spring and summer European tour dates to focus on, quote, personal matters. Filling in for him once again will be former Megadeth and current Act of Defiance guitarist Chris Broderick. Broderick previously stepped in for him during In Flames North American shows in February and March.
Right on.
Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile, the thriller in which Metallica frontman James Hetfield makes his dramatic acting debut, will premiere on Netflix on May 3rd. This movie follows the relationship between notorious serial killer Ted Bundy, played by Zac Efron, and his longtime girlfriend, played by Lily Collins, who at the time had no knowledge of his crimes. I saw the newest trailer for that movie. It actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Unobstructed View and MVD Entertainment Group have set a May 28th release date for Lords of Chaos on Blu-ray, DVD combo, and DVD.
I'd like to see that. So.
I would like to see it too.
So it'll probably end up on Netflix.
It'll probably end up being purchased by me.
Okay.
So
I'll borrow it from you.
I was gonna say, you still haven't borrowed Bohemian Rhapsody of all things.
I still have not, and I still haven't seen it. Don't tell me what happens.
Everybody dies. I'm so proud of the fact that there's one movie that I could actually say that, and it'd be very, very true. Avengers: Infinity War. Everybody dies.
Wrong.
Well,
half
of everybody dies. Can't even snap my finger.
You fucking suck.
At least when I snap my fingers, Hulk Hogan doesn't show up. Because that was awful. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we're into your favorite section here, feuding.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start off with the one that I can't read I'm not going to read the article for, because I got 3 today. According to the New Orleans Advocate, Motley Crue and Netflix are being sued by a crew member over severe electrical burns he sustained last year on the set of the band's biopic, The Dirt. His name is Luis De Vicente. Is a rigging grip, claims that a power line shock left him with 2nd and 3rd degree burns over 50% of his body. The incident occurred in March of 2018 at the set, as the set had been transformed to look like the legendary Hollywood rock club Whiskey A Go Go. He says that one of the metal pipes he had been handling made contact with a power line, sending electric current through his body. He's seeking damages, including $1.8 million in medical bills.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. So, we'll start with Korn versus former drummer. We're going to be reading the article here. All right. According to The Blast, ex-Korn drummer Dave Silveria has countersued the group, claiming his former bandmates owe him almost $1 million. The 46-year-old musician left Korn in 2006, sued his former bandmates in 2015, claiming that his exit from the group was merely a hiatus and that he was rebuffed when he tried to rejoin the band in 2013. He said he still had ownership interest in Korn and asked the judge to force the band to reveal how much money they've made since he left so that he can get his rightful share. Korn countersued, and the two sides reached an agreement in 2016 that called for Silveria to give up his rights to Korn royalties going forward in exchange for a lump sum. We've already covered this part.
Yeah.
But now, he claims his 2016 agreement with Korn, quote, omitted any reference to the 2013 agreement between the partnership and Sound Exchange, which administers royalties from non-interactive streaming recordings. The settlement agreement was also silent on the issue of how Sound Exchange royalties were to be appropriated. Korn sued Silveria last month, claiming that he contacted Sound Exchange in July 2018, saying he was entitled to his cut. The band said they informed him of his direct violation of the settlement agreement he reached and to withdraw his claim to Sound Exchange. Apparently, he did not do so, causing Sound Exchange to place a hold on all payouts related to Korn. In his new countersuit, Silveria claims he was unaware the band had been receiving money from Sound Exchange since 2003 and alleges Korn's deals with Sound Exchange was entered into without his knowledge. He claims the band concealed the deal and the payments from him, and now he is after what he believes he is owed. He is suing for breach of contract, among other things, and is asking for damages in excess of $750,000. Yeah. So, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of
back and forth, he said, she said. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of this he said, she said stuff is legal.
I was going to say, it sounds like a lot of legal runaround.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Speaking of ex-percussionist and big-time bands here, we're talking about Slipknot and their former percussionist, Chris Fenn. An attorney for Chris Fenn says that he was forced to take legal action against his former bandmates because he was presented with a contract that would have effectively relegated him to a, quote, second-class citizen status. On March 13th, Fenn sued Slipknot's leaders, vocalist Corey Taylor and percussionist Clown, the band's manager Robert Shore, and 6 businesses, claiming they created the entities without his knowledge. He also says that he hasn't been properly compensated for his years of touring and recording with the group. Attorney Joel Rothman told Rockfeed that Fenn was denied access to information about Slipknot and its business during negotiation about the band's upcoming 6th studio album and accompanying tour. First of all, he is quoted as saying, the lawsuit came about because in order for Chris to continue to participate in the band and attend recording sessions for the album that the band is working on, he was presented with a very onerous take it or leave it, you're not an equal member of the band type proposal. And I'm not going to go into details of it, but let me put it this way. If you had spent 20 years of your life devoted to an enterprise like Slipknot, where you had given your heart, soul, your sweat, blood, and tears to making the band the best it could be, the way that so many of its fans love, then you were told you were a second-class citizen here. I doubt that anyone who's listening to this, because it was on a podcast, would feel any differently from the way Chris felt, which was that he wasn't being given the respect that he deserved. And speaking with his other attorneys, what we saw was that Chris, from the beginning of Slipknot, was treated like an equal, and it wasn't until later, after the band had experienced success, that they began to treat Chris less than that equal. And we looked at that, and we said, well, that doesn't seem fair. Based on the facts, as we understood them, that he began as an equal partner in the band in the beginning, he should continue to be treated in that same fashion. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that one kind of sucks.
Yeah, but then, is he though? Is he really that equal? Is he really that big a part of Slipknot? Is he that, featured in songwriting and whatnot? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, isn't he custom percussion? So he's not drums.
Yeah, I mean when you look at the stage, the 2 rising drum sets, the one that isn't Clown is him. Yeah. Pretty much. And the thing is, we've had this talk before. Is like Slipknot would probably be better suited as a 5-piece. You don't necessarily need the programmer or the DJ. I mean, they have their parts, but there's only very small parts. The core of the band has always been guitars, drum, bass, and vocals. Yeah. That's what you hear the most of. Occasionally you actually might hear the keg getting slammed with a baseball bat, maybe, but half the time I wonder if these guys are even mic'd. When they jump on those drum kits, you don't hear anything. Unless there's a guy at the soundboard hitting the fucking mute button every time they jump up on those things, you don't hear it live. Those things would make noise when you jump up on them.
Yeah.
So, are they really contributing that much? And sometimes I think like Clown is more of a hype man than anything else. So, but yeah, that's it for feuding though.
Well.
Unfortunately, we have nothing in our Alcoholica section, but we have merchandising for you.
I still don't have that clip.
We need that clip.
Yeah.
We need it. All right, so there's a 3D vinyl statue version of the cover art of Ozzy Osbourne's 3-time multi-platinum 1981 sophomore album, Diary of a Madman. And it has been made available for pre-order. The statue... What's that?
I want it.
The statue is limited to, you guessed it, 1981 pieces. And can be purchased at knucklebonds.com.
I want it, but I don't trust certain felines around it, concerning my trooper who died.
Oh, that was so heartbreaking.
Died a terrible death.
Terrible death.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, Icarus.
Yeah, dick.
Flew too close to the sun there, didn't you?
Yeah, dick.
Douchebag.
He's just sitting there looking at like,
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Your material possessions mean nothing to me. Yeah, we know. All right, next up. UK's Z Productions has launched a new range of rock and metal jigsaw puzzles.
Ooh.
Called Rock Saws.
Cool.
The first collection includes jigsaws based on some of the greatest albums in heavy metal history, from Iron Maiden, Motorhead, Judas Priest, and Slayer. The artwork from each of these legendary albums is now available as a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle printed on high-quality board.
Someone tell me where to find this, because I like puzzles, and that would be totally badass.
Yeah, totally badass.
So, yeah, I will want one. I will want all of them.
I think they released like a series of 16 so far.
I want all of them.
Yeah.
I reiterate what I said.
I stand by my statement.
I stand by my statement. So I want to see what they've released.
Yeah, I think one of them. I think the one they were put on in the article, like the main one, I think was Killers.
Really?
Either Killers or Number of the Beast.
I was gonna figure Number of the Beast, maybe British Steel.
Probably.
And
like probably Ace of Spades from Motorhead.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
but the classics.
Yeah.
Classics.
What you'd expect, but either way, I want them. So.
Yeah. All right, we're heading into some recording news.
All right.
Death Angel will release their long-awaited 9th full-length album, Humanicide, on May 31st via Nuclear Blast Records. I'm getting ready to pre-order that myself.
Sweet deal.
Entertainment One has signed the Denison, Texas bit rock band Texas Hippie Coalition to a worldwide deal, and the group's new LP, High in the Saddle, will be released on May 31st.
Right on.
To commemorate the 15th anniversary of their classic album, Ashes of the Wake, Lamb of God will re-release the effort on double vinyl with 4 non-LP tracks, including the B-side, Another Nail for Your Coffin, and 3 previously unreleased demos. Ashes of the Wake 15th Anniversary Edition double vinyl will street on May 3rd. Well, let's just say it will be released. Street just sounds so... bleh. Anyway, each double vinyl will include a download card and is manufactured on limited green smoke vinyl for the Lamb of God store only. Additional retailers will carry standard black vinyl. A digital version will also be made available on all DSPs. I'm guessing DSPs, by the way, means digital streaming platforms.
Probably.
Really?
Yes, we're doing acronyms now.
Icarus, you jerk. We talked about you destroying stuff, and you have to go ahead and chew on our mic cables.
And you put your claws in my feet. Ah.
He's holding you at bay.
All right, keep going.
Man. Anthrax's Scott Ian and Death Clock's Brandon Small have composed and performed the Legacy soundtrack package for the third game in Stern Pinball Inc.'s Black Knight franchise, Black Knight Sword of Rage. This is a pinball machine that's badass.
That's pretty awesome.
And, of course, the first thing that pops in my mind is The Who.
Of course.
First thing, every time.
Of course.
Never fails. Michael Schenker's Michael Schenker Fest featuring Michael Schenker. Yeah.
Can't get over it.
Yeah, no, definitely not. You know, this is kind of like a Tommy Wiseau project here. Anyway, we'll release its second studio album, Revelation, on August 23rd via Nuclear Blast. The disc was produced by Michael Schenker.
No, you don't say.
And Michael Voss, and was recorded and mixed by Voss at the Kidpool. Yeah. Yeah, they recorded and did a bunch of stuff in Germany that I'm just not going to try and pronounce. And it was recorded between December of 2018 and March of 2019. So they literally just wrapped up recording.
Okay.
Rammstein will release their new self-titled album on May 17th.
I am super excited for
The
that.
hype around this album is huge.
Of course.
It's huge.
Of course, because it's their first one in years.
Yeah, in a long time. All right. Next up, Machine Head frontman Rob Flynn has told UK's Kerrang! Magazine that a re-recorded version of the band's 1994 album Burn My Eyes will be released later in the year.
Cool.
Bisto Blanco, the band comprised of Chuck Garrick, who is a longtime Alison Cooper bassist on guitars and vocals, Calico Cooper, which is Alice's daughter, on vocals, Brother Latham on guitar, Jan Legros on bass, and Sean Sellers on drums, will release its third studio album, We Are, on May 24th via Rat Pack Records. The follow-up to 2016 self-titled sophomore release was produced by Orion Green and is available via pre-order in various bundle configurations, including vinyl, cassette, and hand-autographed CDs.
Cassette, baby!
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Darkness will release a new studio album, Easter is Cancelled, on October 4th via Cooking Vinyl.
Why are they releasing it in October if it's about Easter?
Because fuck you. I believe that would be his answer. Because fuck you.
Probably.
Devil Driver has completed recording its new album with producer Steve Evans, who's worked with Every Time I Die and the Dillinger Escape Plan. The follow-up to 2016's Trust No One is tentatively due later in the year via Napalm Records.
Okay.
I remember Trust No One being pretty damn good, so, you know, I've been slowly but surely getting into Devil Driver. Like, I've seen them live, I thought they were pretty good, and just every once in a while I'll go back, listen to them, and be like, yeah, not bad.
Right on.
Pretty damn good. Last but not least here, Sabaton will release their 9th full-length album, The Great War, on July 19th via Nuclear Blast Records. The band's 20th anniversary record will be a concept effort covering stories from the First World War. Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
I mean, most of their songs are actually, I'd say 95% of their catalog is about war anyway. So.
Yeah. And if you need a history lesson, just pick up a Sabaton record.
Yeah, really. When doing when doing our 10-word reviews for Sabaton, I went to their Wikipedia page to get album covers, and they tell you what each song is about, and literally, they're all about war. Like,
I mean, that's their shtick, though.
They tell you like which battles, like which particular things they're about. I'm like, wow, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they've always been known as the history buffs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, between them and Maiden, if you want to know about some kind of battle that happened way back when, you know, you talk to them. Or, you know, Iced Earth, too.
Yeah, them too.
You know, Glorious Burden and everything.
Yeah, Gettysburg, 3 days.
Yeah. Great song. All 30 minutes of it. You can tell time by Gettysburg. All right, anyway. Unfortunately, we do not have any good that men have done. We do have a crowd tracking funder, Mr. Sound of Thunder here. Do you got anything?
No, I don't. They finished their crowdfunding. They doubled their goal. I don't think they've added any more stretch goals or anything like that. But obviously, like I said, they've well surpassed their goal, and they will be releasing their Blu-ray in a few months.
Very nice.
With 2 shows on it. I mentioned last time that they
yes,
added a
that's
second
right.
show.
They doubled down.
But what I do want to mention is that Pledge Music is still being Pledge Music. They are still all quiet on their front as far as paying their people.
Wow.
Because one of the projects that I backed has still updated their backers as of even as recent as a week ago, saying you can cancel, you can call your credit card company, cancel the order, and go buy the album on our webpage.
Wow.
Like that's to the extent of what's happening right now.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
That is such a shame. Remember, guys, when you back something, research. Do a little bit of research.
Well, it's not even them, but it's not even the band.
Of course, it's not the band, but like the platform.
Yeah.
The platform.
Yeah. As long as I mean, unfortunately, like at the time, nobody knew anything about what was going on.
Right.
And suddenly, bam! It's all happening.
But now it's very, buyer beware.
Yeah.
And that means also if you're in a band and you need crowdfunding, do your research on your platform.
Yeah.
You can stick with Indiegogo or the GoFundMe pages or whatever.
Still, I mean, either way, you're taking. No matter what happens, you're taking a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if Pete were here, he would be able to back me up with this one. But like backing video games on like Kickstarters and whatnot is probably like the most hit or miss thing you could do as far as backing anything, because of the fact that like there have been so many that like have taken money and just not released anything, or they've like what they've released has been like crap. So, but yeah, win some, lose some, unfortunately.
All right, so we are into concert news, which is a little short for us this week.
Okay.
A little short. We're going to start off with festivals. We have a little bit of festival news today. Guns N' Roses is the first act to be announced for the return of Louder Than Life. This year, the festival will be headed to its new home at the Highland Festival Grounds at KY Expo Center on Friday, September 27th, Saturday 29th, and Sunday. No, stop.
It's just funny.
I really hope that this Expo Center is not sponsored by lubricant.
I'm just because you said Highland, so I'm thinking Scottish, and I'm thinking of like the KY. I'm just thinking of all of this in a Scottish accent.
That's even better.
Yeah, I know. I'm
yeah.
just,
That was better.
Just a Scrooge McDuck saying it,
It's a little dry around here. I think we need to lube it up.
You know what I love about money? I have a lot of it.
Oh my god! I love the fact that we recently watched an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Scrooge McDuck and his money bin was very heavily featured.
Yes.
That was very joyous. All right. We're going to some touring news now. Machine Head has announced the first leg of its 25th anniversary tour for the band's classic debut, Burn My Eyes. The dates kick off in Germany on October 5th in Freiburg, and continue across Europe, wrapping in Dublin, Ireland on November 8th. The U.S. leg will be announced in due course. Those dates are set for November into December as the tour makes its way around the globe. Building on Machine Head's wildly popular An Evening With format, these shows will be a 3-hour musical extravaganza comprised of 2 parts. Part 1 will feature Machine Head's modern classics featuring frontman guitarist Rob Flynn and bassist Jared McArron, performing alongside 2 soon-to-be-announced players. As we talked about, they're holding auditions for guitar and drums. Part 2 will feature Burn My Eyes, played in its entirety for the first time ever. Taking the stage for this part of the set will be Burn My Eyes era alumni and Machine Head's original drummer Chris Kontos and original guitarist Logan Mader.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Makes you wonder why they just don't do like a classic era return.
Yeah.
Like a reunion type thing.
Yeah, who knows? They might. You don't know.
It's either that or these guys are just like, yeah, we'll perform the stuff we already know. We just can't deal with this guy in the studio.
I mean, that may be the case. Who knows?
I mean, from what you hear from the guys who have left the band, that Rob Flynn is very heavy-handed when it comes to Machine Head because it is his baby.
Yeah.
So that might just be the case. Like again, we'll replay the stuff we know and we had a hand in. Anything new, that's on him.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Disturbed have announced a much-anticipated second leg of arena shows set to begin on July 21st at the Mankato Civic Center in Mankato, Minnesota. Select shows on the tour will feature special guests Pop Evil or In This Moment. Metallica has added 2 more shows to its previously announced tour of Australia and New Zealand. The second Melbourne concert will take place on October 24th at Marvel Stadium, and another Auckland gig is scheduled for November 2nd at Mount Smart Stadium. As with the rest of the tour, support on the shows will come from Slipknot.
Right on.
That is a badass show.
Yeah.
Ghost has announced a 6-week North American headline tour that will see the Swedish rock band's elaborate rock theater presentation metamorphosize into a full-on arena production. Copy and paste. Billed as the ultimate tour named Death and produced by Live Nation, the tour is due to kick off Friday, September 13th at the Rabobank Arena in Bakersfield, California, following Ghost's special guest summer slot on Metallica's 25-date worldwide European stadium tour. So they're going from Metallica's stadium tour to their own arena tour. This is a big band now.
Yeah.
This is a big band.
Speaking of Ghost, real quick, do you know that they have since there's enough tribute bands around here in San Antonio, there's a Ghost tribute band.
Get out!
Yeah.
Already?
They're called Square Hammer.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I saw a flyer for them on Facebook.
I love it. All right, one-offs. Metallica has announced a second show with the San Francisco Symphony, exclusive for members of the band's fan club. So, we talked about this. The initial ticket sales were bought up by a bunch of bots and are now being resold for thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. So they added a second show exclusively for their fan club. So
Smart.
That's pretty cool.
Smart, but I'm sure someone will find a way to get a bot in there.
Of course. But the effort is there with the band.
Yeah, of
the
course.
band can't control these things.
Yeah, of course.
But all they can try and do is make amends and do the best they can for their fans.
And good for them. Good on them for that.
They always do. Like, no matter what you say about Metallica, they, aside from the Napster thing, they always look out for their fans.
I mean, the Napster thing didn't actually slow anything down.
Of course.
It just made a lot of noise for a while.
Yeah, and obviously these guys have relented a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, with the whole streaming thing, their sales have just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're still in the charts.
Yeah.
At least so.
They're reaching Pink Floyd level time on the charts with that one record that came out 20-something years ago. So
Yeah.
All right. Misfits have announced a very special 2019 U.S. date that will take place Saturday, June 29th at the Bank of California Stadium in Los Angeles, California. The current lineup of the Misfits features original singer-songwriter Glenn Danzig and original bassist Jerry Only, and of course, Doyle, who doesn't like his fans apparently. Well, that's just a different story. Anyway, Rise Against, The Distillers, Anti-Nowhere League, and the Cro-Mags will join the epic event as special guests.
That sounds like a brilliant show.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd see that.
Punk all up in your grill.
Yeah, that's wow.
I would actually just like to really see the Anti-Nowhere League just to see them play So What.
Gotcha, but but just in general, that's
yeah. Badass show right there. All right, so that's concert news.
okay.
All right, we're heading into heavy metal in the charts.
Heavy metal in the charts.
I got some noteworthy points here.
Okay.
According to Billboard, Disturbed has scored its 6th number 1 on the Billboard Mainstream Rock Songs Airplay chart with its latest single, A Reason to Fight. The achievement marks the first time a band has landed a 6th straight leader on the chart, breaking a tie with 3 Days Grace, which logged 5 consecutive number 1s in 2012 to 2015. Every one of Disturbed's singles since 2015's The Vengeful One has topped the chart.
The Vengeful.
The Vengeful One, that's single. The single.
I was about to say. I was like, that's an album.
Right.
When did that come out?
Yeah, we're not that senile.
Yeah.
All right. According to Billboard, Motley Crue's soundtrack to The Dirt has entered Billboard 200 chart at number 10 with nearly 30,000 equivalent album units. Of that sum, 15,000 were in traditional album sales.
Wow.
So that's how heavy metal has to get back on the charts. You have to make a movie.
But also that's number 10, and they only did 30,000.
Yeah,
that tells you how low sales
are in general. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because remember a lot of these sales have to do with streaming, but the number of streams you have to get for an album sale.
Yeah.
And the number of downloads you have to get for an album sale are pretty high.
Yeah.
Especially the streaming number. The streaming number is ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, so we're into the Billboard Top 200. You usually like to hear the top 5.
Yeah.
You're probably not gonna know any of these people except for one of them.
Probably.
All right, so number 1 is a new album by a gentleman named Nav, N-A-V, Nav. We'll call that. It's called Bad Habits.
Never heard of it.
Number 2 is Ariana Grande. Thank you. Next. Number 3 is Juice WRLD, Death Race for Love.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah.
It's probably terrible, but it sounds so cool.
Number 4 is a new album by a person named Rich the Kid, and it's called The World Is Yours Too.
That sounds like shit.
Yep. And number 5 is Extenation, whatever. Anyway, the album is a question mark. Yeah. Yeah, just stop. Just stop.
My brain hurts.
Number 9 is the Bohemian Rhapsody soundtrack, and number 10, as we mentioned, is the Dirt soundtrack by Motley Crue.
Right on.
And now we scroll. And I have a feeling I'm going to be scrolling for a minute. We need that Benny Hill music.
Yeah, I think I have it, actually. So while you do that, let me... Oh, I do have it, yeah.
Well, hold on, wait. Hold on. Because number 28...
I pressed it already, sorry.
That's lovely. Number 28 is the Greatest Hits by Queen, the regular one.
Okay, now I'm pressing it.
Yep. Okay, here we go. The Very Best of Fleetwood Mac by Fleetwood Mac re-enters the charts. Re-enters the charts at number 42. That might have to do with Stevie Nicks being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I believe, as a solo artist.
Probably.
All right, scrolling again. All right, the very best, best of everything. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers is number 51. I believe this is a new greatest hits record because it's been on the charts for only 4 weeks. All right, Elton John, Diamonds at 53. Blah 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 blah. Yep, scrolling. Oh, he really does wear that on his head. Wow.
What?
I was driving for Uber and Lyft this morning. I usually just turn on pop radio to listen to as background noise, and they mentioned a DJ. His name is Marshmello, and his shtick, kind of like Daft Punk, is he wears this marshmallow helmet, and he never takes it off in public apparently, but allegedly he does take it off in public, and he gets into a cab and he doesn't fit, so he has to take the thing off, and you know. So if you're looking for a paparazzi type picture of this guy, drive a cab.
Quick, shoot me in the face!
In the face. Journey's Greatest Hits is number 80. Creedence, 85. Queen's Greatest Hits 1, 2, and 3. The Platinum Collection is at 92. Yes. Yeah. Greatest Hits by Guns N' Roses is 110. Scrolling.
This is
painful. Sad. Oh, wow. The Best of Nickelback, Volume 1. There's more than one volume.
And you failed.
Yeah. That re-enters the charts at 122.
Re-enters the charts?
Re-enters the charts at 122. Greatest Hits by Motley Crue re-enters the charts at 125. Pushing down Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. The Black Album is at 136. Oh my gosh. This is just painful. Eagles Greatest Hits, 144. Michael Bublé, whatever.
You know, don't give Michael Bublé any crap. He's okay.
He's a singer. I can appreciate singers. I don't appreciate the music, but I can appreciate singers. Back in Black is 153. Nirvana Nevermind is at 154. The Beatles, 155. Beatles Abbey Road, 156. A Decade of Destruction by Five Finger Death Punch is at 157.
Wow.
Yep, we had a little run there, a little wave. The Rolling Stones is at 167.
With what?
Hot Rocks.
Oh.
Michael Jackson, Thriller, 171.
Has that always been there? Like, has that always been on the charts? And you
A
just
little bit. It's
skip
here
over
and
it?
there. It's here and there. The unfortunate thing is that, like, you wonder if, like, people are listening to it because of that horrible documentary on him.
Oh yeah.
You know, but his music is still, like, around.
I'm pretty sure that they pulled the Michael Jackson episode of The Simpsons off
did.
the air
They did.
completely.
Yep, they did. Number 180 is Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory. Panic at the Disco. No. Yeah, no. Simon & Garfunkel, Greatest Hits, 192. Bon Jovi, Greatest Hits, 195.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really kind of wraps it up for us.
I hear enough Bon Jovi at work now, like working at my. I'm not gonna say where I work at Redacted.
Yeah, because I haven't mentioned where I worked either. I don't think so.
Yeah, so work at Redacted.
Which is funny because we work at rival redacted companies.
rival redacted companies. That sounds like a band name. Patent pending.
Write that down.
But they'll play either like I think a Spotify playlist or the radio sometimes, and I hear enough Bon Jovi. Like I've heard Wanted Dead or Alive enough times. I've heard Bad Medicine enough times. Not as much as I've heard songs that I really hate, because like I'll be sitting there and like there's a point yesterday where I was like in the midst of doing like a lot, and it was one of those moments where like there's like the pressure's on. You got a lot of shit to do. And a bad song comes on, and I'm like, damn it, why?
I can't get pumped for this. Fuck this.
I'm
Fuck
like,
this. Fuck you.
I'm just so mad. Like this stupid song. I hate it. Just
Yeah, there are definitely those times for
yeah.
sure.
It's like anytime that Pour Some Sugar on Me comes on, I'm like, okay, that's it. This is over. Everybody just
Fucking-
stop what you're doing.
I hate that song.
Wait for this song to end, and then we can start working again.
I fucking hate that song.
Uh,
You know what's the worst part about that song is that, like, when you think about it, when they wrote it, they were probably like 20-something years old and whatnot, when they're still singing it at like 50.
yeah.
And it's just, no. It's just something wrong about that.
Okay, I like Power Mania the album. The only main thing I can say that I'm okay with Def Leppard, like that I'm really okay with aside from Pyromania, is the fact that like they comprise half the soundtrack to Balls of Fury.
Yeah. I love that movie.
That was such a great movie.
I love that movie.
Go on. Or are we doing the list?
Okay. We are doing the top 25 hard rock albums. Starting with number 25 is Toxicity, System of a Down.
Really?
Yes, sir. 3 Days Grace, 1X is at 24. 23 is Led Zeppelin 4. Jimi Hendrix Experience, the best of Jimi Hendrix, featuring Jimi Hendrix, produced by Jimi Hendrix, and playing guitars, Jimi Hendrix, is at number 22. Best of Volume 1 by Van Halen.
Really?
Re-enters the charts at 21.
Wow.
Yes.
For no reason at all.
Yeah, really, that's a very random one here.
Yeah.
At number 20 is Aerosmith's Greatest Hits.
That's one that when I hear at work, I'm happy about, because I heard Janie's Got a Gun. And I finally listened to the lyrics to really, because after we had that discussion where I proved my absolute stupidity and the fact that I didn't actually
Pay attention to the lyrics for 25 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I finally did, and I was like, I get it now.
My eyes have been opened and I am dumb. And stupid.
And stupid.
You fool.
Yes. All right. Where do we leave off? All right. Number 19 is Antennas to Hell from Slipknot. Number 18 is Greatest Hits by Foo Fighters. Number 17 is Greatest Hits by Three Doors Down. Number 16 is Meteora by Linkin Park. Number 15 is Mothership by Led Zeppelin. Number 14 is a new release, Warheads on Foreheads by Megadeth.
Really?
Their greatest hits record. So we might see that hanging around for a little while, hopefully.
And that was not on the top 200, but
Yeah, because it's below the ones, like the last lowest one on the top 200.
yeah.
Because we have another re-entry here, Greatest Hits by Def Leppard. That probably has to do with the fact that they were just inducted into the Hot Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The last one on the top 200 was the Bon Jovi Greatest Hits, the Ultimate Collection. It's at number 12 here. Number 11 is Hybrid Theory, Linkin Park. Number 10 is A Decade of Destruction, Five Finger Death Punch. Number 9, Back in Black. Number 8, Black Album. Number 7, Motley Crue's Greatest Hits. Number 6, the re-entry of The Best of Nickelback Volume 1.
What?
The fact that there's multiple volumes, or that
And you fail.
and that they state there are multiple volumes. I hope there aren't multiple volumes.
It's okay. I mean, like, I like Nickelback, but, like, you don't need multiple volumes of greatest hits.
Number 5 is Greatest Hits by Guns N' Roses. Number 4, Greatest Hits 1, 2, and 3, The Platinum Collection by Queen. Number 3, The Greatest Hits by Queen. Number 2, The Dirt Soundtrack. And number 1, of course, Bohemian Rhapsody, the soundtrack.
Queen's gonna dominate forever.
Forever. And
Ever. All right.
forever.
Don't even start that.
Forever.
Okay, so discussion point.
Oh, you got this one, so let's hear it.
I have a discussion point, and this has a slight story. And
I am intrigued.
And it goes into music. So it starts with games and goes into music actually. So I started using my Twitter a little bit more often lately, and there's this thing going around Twitter of somebody who wrote a thing about games. It was a quick 2-paragraph thing, and it was basically a whiny brat complaining about what constitutes a gamer, what you would call a gamer. What would you personally, you who does not play games except for random stuff and whatnot, what would you call a gamer? Would you call me a gamer based on all that stuff I have over there? And the time that you spent here in the last few months, would you call me a gamer?
I would say the gamer is like a spectrum thing. Mm-hmm. I think you would probably be on the mild to moderate side of gaming because it's not all encompassing for you. Mm-hmm. Like you have games that you like to play, you play them, you do your recreational warfare. You have the systems and stuff like that, but it's not a everyday, all day type of thing. Mm-hmm. Then there's the more, for lack of a better term, severe side of the spectrum here, where it is all encompassing. Like these guys who spend thousands and thousands of dollars for computer systems, for like online gaming, for chairs specifically for gaming.
Some of those chairs are pretty badass, though.
I understand that, but like when you go out of your way to buy something called a gaming chair,
I used to have a gaming chair.
Then you might be more on what people probably would consider a gamer.
Yeah.
Like I said, when it's more of an all-encompassing thing or something that you spend a majority of time outside of anything else doing. Like I have a couple of guys that I work with who, like one guy just is so proud of his setup now at home, mm-hmm. and that all he wants to do is spend time not working, playing these games. To the point where he's like, I'll give my kid the iPad, just let him do his own thing, and I'll do my thing, like kind of thing. Like that is an extreme, I think.
So would you call me a gamer?
Yeah, like you are a gamer, but again, okay. on one side of the spectrum.
Okay, so here's the thing, the guy was complaining, people talking about putting an amount of time into something, whereas other people put more time into the games that they play. And basically he was saying that you can't call yourself a gamer if you're playing like mobile games. If you're playing games on your phone, you're not a gamer. If you're playing Mario games, the original like Nintendo games and everything like that, like the ones that I play now. If you just play those games, like you are not a gamer. and he's
So what is his definition of a gamer though?
that's the thing. He doesn't actually go into like what it really is. He just
sounds
sits there,
very,
yeah. It's a very snooty thing, and also he specifically says attention all women,
Oh,
which makes it even worse.
oh,
Because gaming is also one of the most obnoxiously sexist hobbies.
yes, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, all hobbies have their problems. Comic books included.
Yeah, comic books and
mo-
cosplay.
Cosplay, movies, everything is very much elitist. It is still very sexist, and and again, it's basically saying things like playing Candy Crush don't make you gamers, and I'm like, so that starts my argument.
Okay.
Okay, so that gives you the premise of what I'm about to say. I began to think about that in terms of metal, in terms of music.
Mm-hmm.
What constitutes a metalhead?
True. And we've had this conversation before, especially when it comes to like the cult bands, with people with like, I love the internet memes, like, you're not a real real death metal fan unless you know this artist, and it's usually like a picture of someone who's not a death metal artist at all.
Same thing we did with
Darth Maul.
Yeah, with Pat did
Yeah.
with Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Like, name this black metal musician, and it's like, haha, joke, haha, jokes.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is that that's something that we've talked about that before on the podcast, and probably not specifically, but there's something about closed-mindedness in our particular genre of music, where like anybody that we don't feel is worthy of the title can't get it. It's like, oh, great, you listen to Metallica, great, wow, and then we get to like, oh great, you wore a Metallica shirt, name like 2 of their songs or something like that. Like that's the elitist part of the whole genre.
Yeah.
And then you get even further into it when you get into some of the subgenres, like, oh man, they haven't released anything good since their first album. Oh my god, this is so overproduced, they're sold out, or any of that nonsense.
Yeah.
It's just, it really is just that. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that people can belittle each other based on the type of music they listen to is kind of stupid.
I wouldn't call, like the we talk about Metallica and crossover appeal all the time. I wouldn't call a person who listens to popular music and whatnot, and then also listens to a little bit of Metallica and a little bit of like the more popular bands, say like Five Finger Death Punch and whatnot. I wouldn't necessarily call them a metalhead. I'd say that they like some metal bands.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call them a metalhead. But
I would say that like a metalhead is probably someone who goes out of their way to specifically listen to metalhead a majority of the time.
yeah, what I was saying before, like way back in the start of this podcast, when I was talking about the my iPod, I put it on shuffle this morning. So we start off and we're listening to Freedom Call, which is a power metal band. Goes into Trogdor, the song by from Homestar Runner. Okay, goes into Queen from Made in Heaven. It goes into I forgot what came next. I forget what came next, but it was a metal song, and then it ends on Grand Funk Railroad, and then I stopped driving. Based on that alone, like, would somebody consider me a metalhead? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not, but like, I listen to a lot of random stuff. Am I to be ashamed of what I listen to?
That's the thing I never liked about the whole term guilty pleasure, is like, why do you feel guilty for liking something that you like?
I hate the term guilty pleasure. I absolutely despise it.
Yeah, I try not to use it.
Yeah.
As best I can. You shouldn't feel guilty for liking the things that you like.
Unless of
course it's like evil, and illegal.
Unless it's something that harms another person or is inherently like. Yeah, 99.9% of the population will sit there and say, the fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, I think you can do the same thing if you went through my CD collection. I mean, you got, you know, of course, all the classic metal, some of the black metal, some of the death metal. But then you got the Allman Brothers Band,
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, you know, Leonard Skinner's in there somewhere. I got Elton John. You know, there's, you know, I think the term metalhead really is, of course, all-encompassing of metal as a whole. But you know, I think it has to be what you listen to a majority of the time, what you go out of your way to listen to.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's kind of what, if you need to be defined by anything, that's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so when people are like, I'm a pop fan, I mean, that's a very broad spectrum because there's a lot of popular music out there.
Mm-hmm.
And like, when we hear pop, we probably think of like, you know, Taylor Swift and all that other stuff, but that could also include a lot of the hip hop stuff because it is very popular. But then hip hop guys will be like, well, I listen to hip hop, but you know, they won't include the pop stuff. So it's really like what you go out of your way to listen to if you need to be defined by the type of music you listen to.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So again, if 90% of the music that you listen to on any given day is metal, you probably will be considered a metalhead with some other interest. If 90% of what you're listening to is hip hop, you will probably be considered a hip hop fan with other interests. You know, pop music is pretty much all encompassing. If you spend like 90% of your time listening to country music, you are a country music fan with other interests. You know, I think that's kind of where it really is where a majority of your listening comes from or goes to.
Yeah, it's just something.
I mean, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. And like again, we've probably talked about something similar on this podcast several times.
Yeah. Especially
Especially when it came to the subgenre talk that we had way back when.
like from the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that irked me, and you know, just an extension of thought, and it's something that irks me with all my hobbies. Like, you know, I would consider myself like, you know, a music fan over all things that I do. I would consider myself a gamer, but I don't play that often. I play when I can because of timing. You know, I would consider myself a fan of comic books, but I only have so many.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I would consider myself a movie buff, but I only watch so many.
Right.
So I've seen plenty, but
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, everyone considers a movie buff to be someone who's always everything about every movie, but I would consider myself a movie buff because I know a lot of stuff about the movies I like.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't go out of my way to watch the classics that everyone considers classic. I like the movies I like. I know a lot about those movies. I know a lot about the actors in those movies and the directors. So I would consider myself a movie buff, but not all encompassing. You know, I know the stuff about the Lord of the Rings because I watched them 1,000 times. I listened to the commentary. I read all the trivia. I'm a movie buff about the Lord of the Rings.
yeah.
You know, same thing with Star Wars. You know, do I know every single name of every single character? No. But I know a lot of stuff. I'm a buff about those particular kind of movies. You know, have I seen Gone with the Wind? No. Have I seen Casablanca? No. Do I need to? No. You know, I know about what I like.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, once everyone has to get past what everyone's supposed to like and just appreciate what people actually do like, that things would be a little bit easier to handle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, people need to stop getting so worked up over the titles, as far as what you would call what others call themselves necessarily.
Yeah, I found the same thing actually in personal training. I found that people didn't want to just work out. Like, they didn't want to exercise. They wanted a name to it. They wanted to put some kind of name to what they were doing. CrossFit, Zumba, P90X. They wanted to have a title for the kind of workouts that they do, so they had something to tell people. They didn't want to say, "Oh yeah, I work out," or you know, I exercise 3 times a week. It's like, no, I go to CrossFit every other day. I do this, I do that. They want names for things. So that's kind of falls into places like, you know, I'm a gamer. You know, I do this, so I am a gamer. or whatever. And I think this kind of falls into like the same kind of category
Gotcha.
here.
You wanna be able to classify
You
something.
classify and define what you do. You know, I try not to do that. Like, I know I'm a metal fan, but the thing is, I try to tell people that I'm a music fan. I just happen to like metal more than other genres of music. You know, I'm a movie fan. I just happen to like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, like sci-fi and fantasy stuff more than other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but it doesn't mean I'm not a movie fan. It just means I have my particular likings. You know, and you know, again, I don't particularly have a style that I work out in. I just exercise. I just work out. You know, as often as I can. I don't want to put a name to it. I don't have to put a name to it. It's just, you know, it's what I do. It's what I like to do. So.
I think that sums it up.
Yeah.
So like I said, just an extension of thought, train of thought, from.
That's a good one.
From a person who was whiny. And a lot of people had a lot of response to say.
Oh, I'm sure, especially once he got into the woman thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just ridiculous.
That's obnoxious. So.
That's a whole other conversation in and of itself.
Yeah, that we won't get into, but we will make our curtain call here because Warrior needs sleep.
And food. I can use a snack and a nap.
Snack
I'm like a puppy.
and I have to go mow the lawn. So, until next time, I'm Dan Mack.
And this is Chris Mack.
And we are the Slime. I don't have the thing set up, so... Yeah, Shred
The clip
Shack.
game is not strong today.
Yeah, I was not...
Fail Gunner.
Here we go. Just end on Starblade.